Welcome to another episode of the Grey's Anatomy After Show. Tonight we are talking about Maggie and Jackson getting caught by their parents. April is still spiraling and so much more. We're talking about it coming up. Don't go anywhere.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
That's a lie.
There it is.
I love this song. Oh, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
Lighters out.
Good job, El Marie. I really like that song.
Yes, we do need lighters. Yes, because this episode reflected, we talked a lot about time, going, in the future, going in the past, and then in present time. So I thought that was a good choice.
It was. Really good.
Yes.
Thank you guys for joining us. Like I said, this is another episode of the Grey's Anatomy After Show. I'm El Marie, and we have my other host here with us, Tori, Krista, and you all know Timothy Michael.
Yep, everybody knows me. I get around.
Well. If you say so.
Okay. But so, how did you guys feel about this episode tonight?
In all honesty, I felt that it was a little discombobulated. I felt like there was a lot going on.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a lot
but I
going
wasn't particularly excited or connected to really any of the characters tonight.
Yes.
So I felt this episode was a little hard to connect to overall.
Yeah.
I could see that because as I was trying to write the points of trying to make topics to talk about tonight, it was like, well, I'm kind of getting everyone.
Yeah.
It was like,
They addressed everyone a little bit.
Yeah, it's just too much of everyone. Now I understand why they don't do that.
yes.
I did like, the one thing I did like about this episode is we got a little more with Arizona, which we haven't in the past few weeks, and her storyline was a bit emotional today.
Yeah.
I did like that. That was the one that I enjoyed.
I think I really liked that Jackson, Richard, and Catherine finally went in and did Michelle's surgery. Yeah. I was waiting for that to come back, and for a second there, I thought it wasn't going to happen. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later, but I like their storyline.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Good show overall, but like we said, I felt the same way as you, Timothy, not really connecting really to anyone.
Yeah.
But I want to go ahead and start off with Amelia and Owen since they opened the show. You're over it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
I don't either. And it's the whole thing, the whole friends benefits thing. It never works. And it really doesn't work if you already did have feelings to begin with and then you're trying to backtrack. That's not going to happen.
But they didn't just have feelings. They had a brain tumor. They had a whole history.
A teddy.
They had a history. Yeah, they have a teddy.
And they were never really over each other. So how do you go from still kind of somewhat being in love to friends with benefits? Don't you need to be completely...
that's like a line you cross at that point.
Totally.
That doesn't help anyone.
It wasn't the smartest move, and I think we all kind of called it.
Yeah.
It's going to get complicated. It always does.
Right.
Especially like you said, Tori, when there's not a clean break and there's still emotions and feelings involved,
Right.
it's going to get messy.
Exactly.
And it was it got messy right away, which we all figured. And I was taking my notes and I'm writing down Amelia, they're both boasting about, we've got this, blah, 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 blah. Literally 30 seconds later, here comes the drama and the feelings. You know what I mean? So it's
Amelia is known for saying, I got this, and not really having it.
Yeah.
Classic
Can't blame
Amelia.
the tumor anymore.
I know.
Yeah. So, they're just a mess, and we'll get more into them, but just also Owen bringing up the fact right away, well, I don't know if you want to, go back. Like you said, she doesn't really have it. So are you going to go back and forth about, how you feel about this? Are you good? Are you really good?
Yeah.
Do you want a baby? Do you not want a baby? Do you blah, blah, blah? He's bringing up little things that bothered him. It's well, are you good?
Yeah.
Also,
and then he comes to terms.
Yeah. With that, so.
I don't even have words for them. I'm just annoyed.
Yeah.
Hopefully today was the last of it.
I really hope so.
Yeah. I mean, he's leaving. So. He's on a jet plane.
Yeah. I would say we could just go ahead and jump into their whole little situation, which I'm glad Amelia brought it up about Teddy. She started to realize, and she compared Teddy to a brain tumor. That was Owen's brain tumor, his clutch. She's always been there. You know what I mean? She's always been kind of an option for you, or a maybe, something to explore. But you always were in another situation, so you really couldn't do it. And he always felt like Teddy was rejecting him and not really wanting to be with him. And Amelia's you were married, silly. You know what I mean? Or
like
in
every
situation,
single even with Christina, Teddy was always an issue.
Yeah, so
how had he not noticed it sooner?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It should have been like, yeah, that's true.
Sorry.
Like she was the one you were in love with this whole time. It took 2 failed marriages to figure it out, but here we are.
Yeah, and this is why I like Amelia, because I always get a lot of slack for liking Amelia's character. But at least she kept it real. She was
did.
like,
that's why I do like her.
Like, she really
just
did.
go to Teddy.
Just go get her.
But did Teddy not kind of touch on this before? Like before we found out Amelia had a tumor?
But I think her point was like, again, you would like do this, but you're in a relationship. And didn't she once kind of show affection to him with the Christina?
When he was with Christina,
and it like didn't go her way. So at this point, she's probably like, I'm sick of this. It's been years, but I know maybe his confession, which I'm assuming is coming to her, will change things.
I also think it's a level of respect for herself with Teddy. I don't think that just in the conversation in the park that they had after Amelia had told Owen to go to Teddy, and he did, and then he tried to make a move on her, and she's like, no. Like, you're married.
You had your chance.
Like, and I feel like in her mind, she's like, if we're ever going to start this, it can't be on this term.
You're right.
Because she's already got 2 failed marriages. You want to work on a 3rd? Because that's how it's going to start.
Exactly.
Right.
Good.
Not a fan of Teddy, but she's smart.
She is smart.
Yeah. So, and I hope she comes back.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this, like, towards the end. I because I think she'll be really good for Owen, and I just want Owen to be happy.
Like,
and someone who wants the things that he wants.
Yeah,
this is true.
I mean, yeah.
She has a valid point, even though I'm not a fan of Teddy, but
let's go ahead and move on to Arizona, because like you said, Krista, we saw her a little more this episode, and Sophia a little more as well.
Yes, which was really nice.
That was really nice.
I feel like this is the most we've ever gotten from Sophia.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like full on lines.
Right? And emotion.
Right. And acting scenes.
Talks.
I thought she was going to have a little love interest, and no, that didn't happen.
I was like, ooh.
I'm so excited for her. But yeah, I feel like so when they open up with the scene with the 2 of them, Sophia's in the bed and she starts to cry. She doesn't want to go to school. I feel like they're setting up Arizona's departure.
That's exactly what I thought. That opening scene, I was like, this is what you gonna do? You're just gonna take her away.
Yeah. Because she's like, she misses New York, her friends, family there. She misses Callie, her other mom. And
then her comment at the end too. Sometimes I get so busy with work that I forget how lucky I am. She's gonna do something where she wants to take time off or they're really setting it up.
Or move to New York.
Yeah. With Sophia. Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe take time off from work for a bit, or just like, but not in Seattle.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. Arizona, she made me really sad today.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to express really the sadness that I felt just seeing her with, Liz and that whole storyline with, Noah and then Liz explaining, that whole background story about how she didn't notice Noah's laughs change. And it was just a lot.
It was emotional. And I feel like she always gets the super emotional cases. Like, she's not the only one, but it's a common factor.
Right.
But I was like, oh, this one is just all over. First you give me the mom, and then the son's also got issues. Like, couldn't you just do one? Did it have to be both?
I kind of knew that was going to be the case, because as soon as she came in with, like, back pain, I was like, this isn't severe enough.
Yeah,
so
and
what's
then the kids' laugh
with
was a bit
else?
obnoxious.
I thought the kids were going to, like, disappear or something was going to happen to Sophia, because we haven't seen Sophia, and I thought something was going to happen to her at the hospital. Because the whole time I was like, why is Sophia there? Like, why did you bring her to work? Like, what's happening? In terms of the whole Arizona thing with this case, I always forget that Arizona was trained by Gina Davis's character.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Right? And it just hit me again in this episode, because I was like, you're damn talented. Like, you're literally the new... you guys in the chat, if Anthony, our wonderful engineer, can get our live chat up, that'd be great. But if you guys can remind me of her actual name. But Gina Davis has played the doctor something while the babies are still in the womb and stuff like that. But she literally trained Arizona, and it took a lot for Arizona to catch on to everything that she had to teach her. And we forget how brilliant Arizona is because she was able to do it. And I feel like they're just like kind of falling her to the wayside, because I'm like, she's really talented.
She's a great doctor.
And it just in terms of this case, like, she literally fixed this woman's amniotic sac or whatever the hell she did while this baby is still in her, and then she's just like, yeah, I fixed it. Oh, but Noah is having
and
seizures.
also realize that.
Can we, like, figure...
Like, she's very in tune with not just, like, her work, but her patients as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her surroundings, which I think really makes for a good doctor, and not a lot of doctors, in my opinion, as well as in the show, can do.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
That they focus on more than what's just happening in front of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that she could even catch that. To be like, that laugh doesn't sound right. I'd be like, he's kind of annoying, but...
Right.
That would have been me. I'd be like, could we not laugh every 2 seconds? But she's like, there's an issue.
Right. She caught it right away.
Yeah.
His laugh is a little
And after
weird.
she said that, I was like, thank God it's something. I'm like,
now when people laugh, I'm going to be like, do you have a weird laugh? Like,
are you a seizure?
Everybody has different laughs, right? So you're just like, I don't know. I'm just going to be like,
take him in for an MRI immediately.
Yeah. See, at first I thought he was flirting with Sophia. That's where the love interest that he came from. And I was like, you're being extra. Why are you laughing so much? That's how you know we're not doctors.
This is why we are doctors.
I'm like, oh, he's trying to flirt.
Right?
Like,
he'd be dead on
I was like, he's annoying.
That does not surprise me that that's what your mind went.
I mean, there was like 10 or something like that. I mean, hey.
First love.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of love, these two new lovebirds.
Don't even call them lovebirds. I don't even know.
They got approval today.
They did.
It took some time, but they got.
I actually liked that clarification, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But the awkward moments that they had in the beginning with Jackson and Maggie, and then it was really awkward.
It was.
And I still do not like them together. It's been 3 episodes.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't.
Still,
and
like,
it's not growing more than I thought it would.
It's just
Yeah, it's
weird.
not. Like I said,
it still
it
feels weird.
For me,
I was
it's
a
still
little
just
more into
Jackson.
it.
Even
No,
with
no.
Catherine saying that it's not even the fact that they are step brother and sister.
See, yeah, but they kept bringing it up before, and I
yeah.
just, I wish we could just stop talking about it.
It's really weird.
Can I don't know what it is.
See, it's a little painful.
It hurts.
Because when they were making out and Jackson said something, and I was like, for the first time, that line didn't get me.
Oh,
And
no.
it was a little corny. I
It
felt
was
like,
Maggie's
what was
line. I was like,
Right?
don't you ever.
Right?
What did
That
she
was
say?
what
Oh, with the
The longer you wait to eat, the hungrier you're gonna get.
Or whatever.
What? If somebody ever said that to me,
I was like,
Push.
wait, you just embarrassed yourself.
get out of my ear.
No.
That was the one uncomfortable line.
Worst
Yeah.
pickup line ever. That's like the like if my boner ever was to get hard to get, it probably will not after.
I mean,
that
I was
line.
thinking he's a guy, so maybe he's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he
I'm like,
probably was like,
he was like, yes.
No.
But I was like, no.
No, I feel like his face. I feel like his face was a little disgusted
Yeah,
too.
I think he was
Like,
a little troubled
he was
from
like-
April still. So.
Yeah.
He's like,
Plus
my
that
mom
on
was
top
right.
of that, yeah, it was like the cake was okay, but then the icing was just like terrible.
Yeah, he was
like,
like,
too much.
"Ooh."
Too much. Yeah.
Sorry.
I know we all
You
looked
would
at
bring
each
it to
other.
desserts too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But then the awkward moment when they did walk out of the room and there's Richard and Catherine just right there. And then Maggie is so awkward. Like, good luck with your vagina.
And they were like, Avery's like, don't.
Don't. Just walk away. Walk away.
Oh my gosh.
And didn't he go back in the room?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, where are you
Yes.
going?
He
You've
did,
been
like,
busted.
the Homer Simpson back into the bushes. Like,
that was a good analogy. I like that.
I like that.
Yes.
that's exactly what he did.
Oh my
But,
goodness. Okay, but so if we were to take a vote,
Mm-hmm.
it's still 3-1 that you guys don't like them together.
See, last week they were growing on me, and then this week it just turned me around completely
Yeah.
again. I
It's
don't know
weird.
why.
And don't get me wrong, Tori. I literally have hope that they will grow on me.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed.
I go back
to
and
it,
forth.
but it's just not happening for me.
Okay, can we talk about Richard kind of putting Catherine and Jackson both in their place?
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good moment.
That, first of all, was not surprising me
No.
at all. Wait, I don't want to happen.
Damn.
Oh, that's what you said. Oh, okay, yeah. No, so at first I really did think that Richard was kind of, stepping up or taking Jackson's side. So that was nice.
Yeah.
But then when he kind of turned around and, like, explained to Catherine that, like, Maggie's a good doctor. Like, Maggie's a good doctor. Maggie's a good person. Like, she's brilliant for your son. Which, in hindsight, if you think about it, like, Maggie's head of cardio, like she's got it going on. She's know what she's doing.
Yeah.
Jackson's head of plastic. Like, come on, like the two, like
It's a power couple.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Still don't like
is.
them, but they would be a family.
I'm not gonna
First,
win.
I was starting to feel as if Richard was starting to become a little offended because he was like, no one's good for your son, and it's like, she is all of these things, so like, why not? And because that is, his child, even though, they're working on their relationship too, but I think he's still like has this protective thing now where it's like, well, that's still my child and she's awesome, so why not?
Yeah, Jazz 41173 says it seems forced to me. I don't see the chemistry.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with Jazz 41173.
Maybe it's just them. Real life, some actors when they get together, it just doesn't I don't feel it. So maybe it's not like anything against the writing. It could just be like them as people.
Stop, you guys. I have to just shout out Olivia in the chat also because she said in April has had a trauma just for the record. So she was
okay,
just
Olivia. You're right. You're so right. You're so right.
And I just want to bring it back to that point really quick though, because Catherine, I forgot the bonding moment that her and April really had after Harriet was born. Yeah.
They did. Okay, you made a very valid point. After Harriet was born, so what if there was no child in the mix?
It would have changed some things, I think.
I think weren't they starting to before?
They were, but like Harriet is what cracked it for her. And I think it was just also like a bonding thing because she is like such a I love my son kind of mother.
That's what I think.
And
that's what I was waiting for her to say.
Like, over that,
Yeah.
Plus there was that whole money thing that Catherine was worried about.
True.
Catherine's a hard to please lady, no matter who
she's a mom.
She is.
She is. But I was surprised by her reasoning once her and Jackson spoke some more. So, okay, of course, they're going back and forth right before Michelle's surgery. And before that, she noticed that there was a little tiff going on with them. And it's like, because she's a surgeon as well, I need you to be focused. Like, laser focused on this surgery. Yeah, and it's very
absolutely. Give me a new vagina. Right? Don't bring anything else into there, right?
This needs to work properly.
Don't bring anything else in there. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Just the vagina.
Just the vagina. Not the
That's it.
Just the vagina.
Whoa.
I'm glad they brought Candace's King character back because I had talked about it because I was actually out the episode that they brought her in. And I'm glad that and I touched on it, I'm glad they brought in a real transgendered character to play this role. Because I don't think, I feel like it would feel ingenuine if it wasn't.
Yeah, I agree.
Like in the minimal scenes that she has, I feel like this truth coming from her. Because I'm sure this is an ongoing issue in the transgendered community.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that they brought her in.
I know her like scenes are pretty powerful because I could imagine they're really relatable to people that don't get those storylines enough.
Yeah, it seems really like authentic for it to come from her.
Yeah.
But she was like, so you guys need to be focused. Can't do this. Yeah.
Like Krista said, I'd be the same way.
Right. Yeah.
I know. I would have been like, no.
Yeah. Like anybody. Like
I could have been getting my tonsils out, and I'd be like, no.
I'm laying on the table.
Surgery.
Right. And I see you guys just going at it.
Whatever. I don't want
surgery. Not only that, though, she also wanted. I mean, I guess they are friends in a sense, but she also wanted them to really work. Like, genuinely cared and wanted Jackson and Catherine to work out their issues.
She's the one that broke them at the end. She's like, what's this about?
You know, and, what patients, actually really care in that sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not to dive too deep into it, but I don't know if you guys know the whole history between with transgendered individuals and having to get like these surgeries, whether that be a breast augmentation or the sex reassignment surgeries. They have to go through a lot of psychologists to get approval for it, just to make sure that they're in the right headspace.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she's picked up on a lot of that throughout all the psychiatrists that she's probably talked to.
I didn't think
so
of
she
that.
probably going through all of that just wants to help this family because she obviously sees they're struggling.
Right.
So I mean, that was just what I picked up off of it.
No,
that's good.
Yeah.
That is
nice.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I know. Sometimes I'm smart.
And
when
really,
I'm not making inappropriate jokes that make Tori uncomfortable.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm not sorry.
That's why we're over here.
That was really good for her because we got to the root of the problem with Catherine. So we're thinking that it is Maggie and it's awkward because before that she keeps making reference to family is family.
Yeah.
Then it's like
stepfather,
okay, right?
No offense.
But then she's like, well, it's really Richard is the problem because he's gonna protect Maggie, like she said, like he kind of just did.
Yes.
And then, like, that can cause problems with us. And I was like, oh,
that
I
wasn't
did not even think about that.
Like,
did not think about
she
that.
said it, I was like, oh.
It's kind of true.
Like, all those
it's
times we've
true.
been like, well, not you, but we've been like dissing this relationship. Like, never once was I like, yeah, this would hurt Richard and, if Catherine, if anything goes wrong.
Wait, what does that say about Richard then? None of us thought about him in the equation.
Yeah, that's true. We're like, he's fine.
Yeah, right. Well, he's fine. He's all right. He's fine.
Did anybody though find that a little selfish?
A little bit.
What Catherine said. Yeah, to quote, I believe she said, "I want you to find love. I just don't want to cost it mine."
That line, I was kind of like, okay, can we find a happy medium?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be one or the other.
Right.
Yeah, I would say find a happy medium, but then also just knowing her past and with the relationships, and like she said, like, and Richard's a good man. Kind of. Sorry.
I mean, I'd beg to differ, but.
Tell us how you really feel.
Like, kind of. now he is, maybe.
He's had some history.
Now he's a good man.
Wife 1.
See wife 1.
Oh my god.
But he's changed his ways. But no, and she, like, they have a really good relationship. And so I don't think it was that selfish of her. Because I think at least she did get to the point where she let it be known what the issue was. And then that way now Jackson can kind of understand where she's coming from, and like he goes on to say, like, you know what, I give you my blessing to take Maggie's
side. Was a nice moment.
That was nice. I was like,
at the same time, Jackson has gotten around this hospital. Like he was with
busy.
Lexi, he was with Stephanie, he was with
and look at him,
Maggie, he was with April. Like he
didn't Christina kiss.
Oh,
yes.
Did they?
Yes. I thought they did.
I think they did.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
But
I
do
don't know if I
Yeah,
remember
like when he first got there and she
it
was going through some stuff. If chat wants to confirm
I believe they kissed.
Okay, yeah, guys in the chat confirm that.
Wow.
But like,
either way, the point.
But my point being is that like he's gotten around, and Catherine hasn't. Catherine, like you said, has a past. She's had one good marriage, and she's been kind of holding off ever since because she's just that whole bad experience just closed her off to love and men in general. And now she finally has somebody, and now your son, who sleeps with pretty much everybody, wants to come in and maybe might have an effect on it. I would have some
that's
hesitation
fair.
too.
That is absolutely fair when you put it that way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he's young; he can get anybody he wants. Why Maggie?
Yeah. Like that lawyer that she was talking about, or Prius. Where did Prius go?
Or go back with April.
Sorry,
her
name was Priya.
April and Jackson.
You know what?
I like her comment about April too. She's like also in the hospital where April works, and I was like,
true. Right, true.
Have
Be
some
sensitive
respect
to that.
for your
That's
ex-wife.
That's true. That is
true. Freaking April's hooking up with interns though.
April's got issues.
Everyone at this point. Yeah, poor little April. Let's get into her.
Wow.
I'm starting to I don't want to put this out there. It is kind of negative, but I'm becoming nervous about her exit. Yeah. Like, so which way
I
are we
agree.
going with
I
this?
feel like if they're going to give Arizona the happy exit, like the, go be with your family in New York, whatever, April's going to be the one that shakes us.
The dramatic exit.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't want
it, but
an important character. You can't just let her go like that.
I know. Well, at least not in like this state of mind.
Yeah. If she leaves when she's still acting out the way she is, I'm like, is that really the send off you're gonna give?
No, for 10 years they have to give us more
no
closure.
Way.
There'll be closure, but I just think it's
but like
be
her
very
state
dramatic.
of mind, like it'll be dramatic, but like, will she leave on a good note? Like, will she be happy or will she still be this upset?
I don't know where she's gonna go because I thought with that last scene when she was in the scene with the dummies in the closet, the supply closet, whatever the hell it was, I wanted more closure or understanding from that moment, and I didn't get it.
Even last episode, she started to break a little, and she's still in the moment with Jackson. Like, that's your time. Say what's going on. Tell someone. But every time, it's like, oh, she's gonna break, and she goes right back. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I understand that she's probably
lost.
feels.
She is very lost.
She's lost. I still feel like she feels a lot of guilt and a lot of responsibility for Matthew's wife's death, and I think that's what's really getting to her. But it has to be something deeper than that. You just met the girl, like it has to be something other than that.
Yeah,
that's that. You brought that up. Were you thinking when she was like giving CPR to the dummy and we can't save her, but then she was talking about a mom and a child at first? Was she referencing the baby she lost and like comparing it to that, or was it the wife?
I thought that first, the baby that she lost.
Yeah,
but then she started talking about a couple.
Yeah. Maybe she was just referencing all the things.
Yeah. Because like she said, like, so she's wanted to be in charge of the trauma thing with the interns,
poor
and then
interns. She broke those interns.
Oh my gosh, Glasses started crying.
Glasses
was
First of all, let's just take a step back because anything breaks these interns. They're made of
they are
freaking
so
straw,
weak.
guys.
True.
So weak.
But she went kind of crazy during that, and it reminded me when she had hers, and they made reference to it when it was her turn to be like she went crazy, but in a different way.
Yeah.
When it was her turn to do the exercise, she was more so like just very passionate and very like in control. Like no, this
April.
is but this is like sad April. This is like broken April. This is how I get my frustration out, which is like it's really sad to watch.
Just like hosing down all the interns, screaming.
Oh wow. Okay, so Writing Melody said that she and her mom talked about this, and they think that Arizona will move to New York, and then April may get fired.
Oh no! But that's
a little sad.
It's an interesting theory, but I don't think that does her justice.
Their whole
Right.
reasoning
It's
for
gonna be
writing
deeper than
for
that.
like letting these characters go is storyline. So it's got to be something good.
Yeah, and let's not forget, April got fired once before when no one couldn't afford anybody, and that led to the plane crash and all that other stuff.
Right.
So she was already fired once.
She's been fired like twice.
Right.
Her
That's
boards.
true.
It's like they have to do something a little
Well,
bit
Deborah
different.
says that she will leave to go home to her family.
Yeah, but then what happens
I
with
could see
Harriet?
Yeah.
Jax, I
Maybe
can't.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
We just need
Because
some
if
answers.
April and if Maggie and Jackson get together and then she's like, oh, just take. I can never ever in a million years picturing April giving Harriet.
I agree.
to Jackson.
In this state of mind,
no.
she's been doing it more, but the person she is, like, that'd be an insult to her character as well.
Right, and on top of that, I don't think that they would, like, let's talk just production-wise in general, I don't think that they would keep a baby on the show because it's A, expensive, and B, it's a baby.
She shows up once
so,
every...
like, I feel like if she does leave the show, the baby's going to go with her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
it
and
would
9
just
times
make
out of 10, the baby goes with the mom. Anyway, Sydney said people think she will kill herself.
Oh!
I'm sorry.
I'm
I just didn't want to say it like out loud.
Why?
That's where I think she is broken. Like she even made me nervous when her and Jackson kissed. They'd never done that before. But when her and Jackson kissed, and she was just really on him, and then she got rejected, so she backed off and stormed out. Like
we're gonna need
that
wine for this
happened,
season.
her breakdown in the supply room.
I'm
That's why I said I'm nervous for how this
I will not
can
be
possibly
okay with
go.
that after show.
I think that I don't want to say it's a long shot, but I feel like that doesn't add up.
We're talking
because
about Shonda Rhimes here.
True.
Yeah, the way she
I
got Wes
don't
and
want
how
to
to get
believe
away
it
with
though. I
murder.
feel like that is a little bit crazy.
Yeah, that's just a little bit much. I feel like it's not dramatic enough for her to kill herself.
I don't know. I would be
Really?
shook
Yeah.
if she...
I feel like that takes the cake.
Yeah.
That beats
especially
plane
with her
crashes.
faith. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
Especially
mean,
with
her
her
state
eye.
of mind. You think her state of mind right now is enough to kill
I don't
herself?
know.
But here's
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that it
I
is.
think she's getting there.
Getting
Yeah,
there.
And
Okay.
we
She's not
have
there yet.
what season finale is about May, June?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have another about like 2. We have time to develop and her to fall deeper into that rabbit hole.
I don't think she would kill herself. Maybe try to commit suicide, and then that's when
She
an
gets
intervention
institutions.
takes place.
Yeah.
I don't think that she would actually succeed because I don't think that is a positive write-off.
can't
for
think
her.
about
And
that.
I don't want to
No,
see it,
I
but
don't want that
I'm watching
either.
like
I wouldn't like that at all.
I'm so nervous.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Well, you just gave us a lot to think about.
I know.
But
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Olivia pointed out that a rabbi is her patient next week, so apparently that was in the preview.
Oh.
okay,
Okay.
that must
We
have
missed
been
that.
laid
It
out to her.
might
But I
be
think that's another
resolved.
reason why she would never try to commit suicide because that's a big no-no. In the
It
Right,
is.
but that's why I
Yeah.
said
She's
that
like
would make
so
it,
broken right now.
if she did, would make it so much more dramatic because
Yeah.
her faith is broken right now, and she may, I don't know.
She's
my
been
mind is
like
kind of-
steering away from her faith, but still trying to like implement it within other people, like the interns or like.
Yeah.
Well, she hasn't had patients in a while, but like
Yeah.
previous patients. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Interesting.
Just, I really don't want to think about that.
No.
Yeah. Let's go to the interns really quick because I want to talk about them and how disconnected I was to them because I remember they do this exercise. They've done it a few times.
Yeah.
And every time they do it, you really see what these interns are made out of.
True.
And in this one, it was obviously mostly about April, which I'm not mad at. But at the same time, I have nothing from these interns.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
yeah,
no
and if
feeling
you want to
Except
keep
for-
the show
I don't wanna
going,
play
those are
this
who we have
game.
to attack.
Right.
I don't want to play this game.
Poor
Or
glasses.
the smart one that
I
was
was
like,
dying
and
at
like
that
More
part.
He was
ridiculousness
here.
with Bella and her.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
Luca.
I just feel like they're not doctors. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
They're just not setting it up for us to get attached to them, which I feel like they should be.
So then start killing some of them off like they did the other interns. You guys, they killed
the ones you didn't like. They were
They did.
Fired and sexually harassed. And
shot up.
Yeah.
It was only April and Jackson to survive, I believe.
Yeah.
It
literally.
We need to start killing some off interns. Okay.
I agree.
Or maybe they don't pass. What is it? Their boards.
That
or
could
something.
Because
they're not learning anything.
Yeah, maybe.
According to Kepner.
I don't know.
So, I don't know. That might be it.
They're a little weird.
Do you guys want to talk about the Marjorie case, the astronaut?
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Because I thought that was thoroughly fascinating, especially with Bailey, just knowing what we know about her and her flashbacks and stuff like that, how much of a nerd she was.
Yes. And how that's who she looked up to.
Like female empowerment.
That was
like
so interesting.
Yeah. What did you guys think initially of what this woman was saying about time travel?
As far as if she's crazy?
Yeah.
I thought it was actually really cool. I did not find that woman crazy at all.
She's passionate.
Yeah,
I was just like, is it possible?
It's like the science behind it. It seems like they can get it figured out with the science and the math, but then it's like, but can it really happen?
Yeah.
And that's weird. And I think our minds won't allow us to be like, time travel can really happen.
True.
In real actual life? I don't know.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like with science and math, whatever, physics, chemistry, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
You can't put a limit on it. There's always something that can be done to like push the boundaries and make something happen, and I feel like that's what she was demonstrating. Marge was her name, right?
It just like sounds crazy to the average Joe, and then like it happens.
I don't know why Joe was so annoyed, because she's a doctor, and I feel like doctors push the limits too.
All the time.
Like, why
she's
were
making
you so...
tiny livers right now?
Right.
That's crazy.
And I was
as
just annoyed with the fact that she just was being sarcastic and couldn't care less about
this woman's opinion.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't even actually think about that. I always I thought about it like when they used the microwave analogy at the end. I didn't even put that in medicine, because when they discovered penicillin, it was completely by accident. Yeah. So it's like like these things just come up in medicine and
just
in science,
and no one believes it until it does.
Right.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Tori, because now I'm a little bit mad at Joe too. Why don't you just be behind this woman? Everybody thinks somebody's crazy when they have this new idea, because it's unheard of.
Right.
And then
were you guys expecting her to die?
No.
I wasn't either. And like we talked about, we actually haven't seen a patient die in a little while.
Yeah.
I feel like Grace has a kill count, and if they don't reach it by the end of the season, so I think she had to go.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting it.
I wasn't as affected by her death. I was like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wanted to see what she could have did.
Yeah.
Right.
I was
like I want to see if she could actually do it.
I thought you guys were going to save her, and she's going to make the time machine.
Yeah. And then I felt like Bailey was like
not as
too,
touched.
like somebody who like you operated on her. Don't you feel like it's a little bit your fault? I'm not saying that it was, but like
for your child,
like distraught, like
oh my god,
she's like,
this woman,
exactly.
And she's just like, what am I gonna call my colonoscopy device?
Right.
I was like, okay.
But
Trailblazer.
I actually like that.
I loved it.
I liked it too. I thought it was good. I thoroughly liked Anal Glide too. So did I. I mean, just so you guys. Anal Glide was my favorite name.
Alex was on a roll.
Tori's like, and Woozy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
I liked
right out of my
mind. Like, oh, Timothy.
Oh my goodness.
But going on from Joe, what I didn't really pay attention to, like her not really being into that scientist, but maybe because she had so much other things on her mind, like she really was just trying to get Meredith not to give up on the tiny livers. Right. And she kept, bringing her things, and then as she talked to everyone else, or talked to Maggie and things like that about Ellis, like she wouldn't want you to give up. She wouldn't want you to stop doing this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you have to figure out, find another way. Yeah. Like this has to be done. And like in the beginning of the episode, she brings her some options, brings Meredith some options, and Meredith throws them in the trash. Like, yeah, it's done. I'm over it. But she was fighting for it. Like, no, this is. You are Ellis Gray's daughter. Yeah. Because then her and Maggie, Joe and Maggie started talking about, maybe wanting to meet their birth mothers. And Joe was like, I would love to meet your mother, speaking of Ellis. And then that kind of was like, I think brought back the drive, like, you can't stop Meredith.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, like,
and we're not getting a lot from her right now. We're not. Miss paid the most money on TV. She's just been... No, but I get there's like so many doctors that are like in the show, obviously, but I want more from her. She's been just... She's got stuff going on, but I know we'll get it.
Did anybody hear what Maggie said when they were operating on Marge?
About the mom?
Yeah. Like, does
she
anybody
said?
think that Marie Salone is lying?
Yeah, kind of.
It's crossed our minds. I mean, we talked about it. We brought it up. Like, if she was ruthless enough to do all the stuff that she did in the past,
Right.
why
wouldn't she be lying now?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about why. I know we talked about it, but when she said it specifically, I was like...
Well, you think that Marie is lying or that Ellis?
I mean,
lying?
that Ellis is lying.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Ellis is lying. Yeah.
Just, it could go either way, but she is a ruthless lady, so it wouldn't be
I
out
don't
of
know. I'm
character.
starting to believe, like, I don't know. I'm starting to believe, like, Ellis is lying.
Yeah,
Ellis lied.
It's
But
a
at the-
possibility coming from
I don't know.
But
at
then
the
you
same
also
time-
have, like, points for the other side. It's hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have such a respect for Ellis Gray that it would just be like a tarnished reputation for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it comes out that she was lying.
She was
I
like
feel
a
she's
crappy
dead,
person,
like-
but good doctor.
Exactly.
So that's
And I feel like when it comes to being a doctor, she would never do anything to, like...
tarnish that
Yes.
reputation.
She
Family
doesn't care
life.
about personal life.
Yeah.
She cares about her reputation as a professional.
That
could
is
go
true.
either way.
That is true.
True. I don't know.
Right, I'm over here like, true.
Yeah, I never know. It's
True, but-
I'm right on the border. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say that the relationship between Joe and Meredith, the longer they're together, the longer I like them together.
I agree.
Same. Yeah.
I feel like
they're
Joe
starting
is
to be like a
definitely
little
growing on Meredith.
Yeah, it's
and
like
I
a little
their
sister
relationship.
type
Yeah.
of situation.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like them a lot together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cute. Okay, so we changed the name of our segment. We're gonna hit into our little fun little segment right now. Who dropped the cure?
Who dropped the cure? Yes, more life.
More
We got some Cher, we got some Lady Gaga. You guys, our soundtrack is amazing. It was so
Yes, it is.
All right, who dropped the cure? Meaning, who had your favorite line or whatever this episode?
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a couple,
Okay.
but the only one I can find in my notes right now is the one that Meredith said at the very end when she said the only thing that needs our attention is the present and its infinite possibilities.
Love it.
I did like that.
And I think that is so true. We tend to always pull things from our past that keep us not focused on the present. We get distracted.
Yeah.
And like everyday life.
Yeah.
And I forget to focus on the present and what's new to come and what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
thought that was just a good
I
reminder.
agree.
yes.
Yeah. Mine was when Amelia was talking to Owen and she said, Teddy, she's your tumor. Because it's about damn time. Right?
Yes.
It needed to be said, and I also like the play on her comparing Teddy to a tumor and her tumor was literally her problem and
Yeah.
Teddy's his, and
Yeah.
they need to,
I agree.
So I like
Check that out.
I think my favorite line was when Richard and Catherine were talking, and she said, "Richard, is my face saying anything?" And he says, "It's like reading Hemingway, dear."
It's a good one.
I thought that was brilliant because that literally sums up their entire
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah.
And they're just
Yes.
they're cute together, and
Yeah,
I
cute.
love that.
I was
It's
like,
like
aw.
intellectual
Right?
quippiness, and I'm like, okay, I get you. I get
Jackson
you.
was annoyed by it, but it was like, oh,
Yeah, I was
that's
like, I can
cute.
get behind it.
People in the chat, let us know what your favorite line is. Somebody
Yes.
said their cringiest. Olivia said in the chat, cringiest was Maggie's though,
Ugh.
when she's like,
Oh
the
yeah, the
hungry-
hunger. Yeah.
Oh my
Try.
god.
And then she
Hungrier
tried to like
Willie.
lean in, like.
I was like, ooh, I'm
should,
never gonna eat again.
Maybe for inspiration from Olivia, we should add on to our segment and say like the best lines and then the worst.
Yeah. Thanks,
But I
Olivia.
think
we should do that. We
collectively
should do that.
We've chose.
we
Yeah.
chose the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was
But
pretty
mine
bad.
was from March when because they were talking about the experiment she was doing, and she was like, she doesn't want to be a person that says no. She said you have to say maybe, and then the whole world opens up.
That one was
And I was
great
like,
too.
I love that one.
That touched
Yes.
me
I
so
love
because
that one.
yes, it's
Goosebumps.
like say maybe
Yeah.
to anything, like with whatever you want to do in life, in the future, in the present. If you are questioning it, at least just say maybe because it opens up that possibility.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Where'd
that
this
was
live
my
by?
favorite.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Should we go into news and gossip?
Yes, let's get into the news.
News and gossip. You got some news and stuff. Oh,
AfterBuzz TV News.
We're fans.
we're making Anthony work tonight.
Yes.
So the one thing that I wanted to bring up was the just like a caption on the Sarah Drew exit drama continues. So Ellen Pompeo was on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and Ellen brought up the whole, do you think that the girls are leaving because your $20 million salary is too much, can't afford them anymore? And Ellen Pompeo said, no, that's completely not true. What she said, which was really interesting to me, she says, when a show is on for 14 seasons, the writers are going to run into problems with trying to create storylines for 16 people for all of these characters on this show. So it's just about who has to go at this point, whether they want to or not. And it's a TV show. I mean, if you can't, you're not guaranteed every season,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
So
true.
we can't really be mad. And I really didn't like the fans' reactions to, lashing out of Ellen Pompeo. And
but do you think that, like, naturally, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't blame the fans for thinking that way because we had just gotten through Ellen Pompeo getting her raise, and then all of a sudden you write two important, very beloved characters off. Like, why wouldn't
so they just kind of threw up in arms?
Yeah. I mean, I get where Ellen is coming from, but at the same time, like, that's a given.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I just look at the cast of Grey's Anatomy and I they love each other so much. Like you see their cast.
Yeah, they're
like that.
There's no
I don't
hate.
think that there would be any like drama like that.
No.
Especially Ellen Pompeo,
it's just
she's
as
pretty
a
real.
fan,
You guys
you
follow her
don't think
Twitter.
that.
I'm gonna tell you how it is, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah, and she also said in the Ellen interview, she said, "I'm not involved in these decisions anyway. So why are you asking me?"
Yeah,
I didn't fire
That's
her.
true.
Like,
That's true.
Very true.
Yeah, they also had the banner was cute too.
Yes.
That they had fans started a GoFundMe page, and I can't remember the exact cost, but I think it was like $1,000 they raised, so it wasn't that much. And they got a banner to fly over the studios that said, "We love you, Sarah and Jessica." And they both like tweeted pictures of them or Instagram pictures of them looking up at it together, and I was like, "That's super sweet."
I miss that.
If we've learned
cool.
anything from us and from our amazing people in our chat, like the Grey's Anatomy fans are diehard.
They're great.
Oh, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
They will buy a plane.
Yeah, I know they were both like, "Is that for us?"
You guys, we better not ever quit because our people in our chat might just buy us a plane.
I'm expecting it.
Well, I think we covered a lot tonight.
Yes.
And a lot of good points for it. Yeah.
Shoot into predictions?
Yeah, let's
Just
go
like
ahead and
maybe
get
one
into
or two
predictions. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Anthony, you better press all those buttons.
I mean, I feel like the big one is Owen is definitely going to see Teddy.
Oh,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So-
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
And I mean, is she or isn't she going to come back with him? Is that or
Somebody in the chat said she's coming back.
she's
next
coming
week.
back? So it must.
that's
His speech must be
good.
pretty great.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Teddy. I think another big one was Arizona probably going to New York. I think that
Yeah,
you were right in
that
the
was
beginning
pretty
when you said
established.
that they're gonna start. This is how they start her off.
Yes.
And I can kind of see that. But then they might take a U-turn. You guys, they've done it before.
This is true.
Where we're like, oh crap.
Like
okay.
fiery accident. Bye.
Yeah.
The other leg. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's
I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
It's possible though, and then she couldn't.
Okay, that definitely tops anything
Okay.
I said tonight.
Maybe an arm. Okay, she needs one leg. Well, then she can't perform surgery, so it makes sense that she'd have to leave.
You are dark.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I guess that's my
guys.
prediction because I didn't really have one.
The other leg. Oh, I
That's a
think.
prediction.
Yeah, I don't really have much this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
You guys in the chat, let us know what you guys think.
I know, seriously. An arm or a leg?
Oh Lord.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe a finger, an eye.
It's gonna be a pirate now. She's already a half a pirate. Like, let's leave her alone.
Oh, you know what? I'm
An
sorry.
eye.
Real quick, I do have a prediction that April actually might take a little bit of time. Just that won't be her full exit. She will leave Harriet with Jackson, and then Harriet's gonna be a cock blocker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all I got. Okay, so
Oh my gosh.
tune in next week where we will go over everything that happens in next week's episode. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Once again, I'm your host Elle Marie. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Elle Marie TV.
And I am Tori Broussard. You can find me as well on Instagram and Twitter at Tori_Broussard.
And I'm Krista Flentje, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Krista Flentje.
I am Timothy Michael. You can find me everywhere at I am Timothy Mike. Don't forget Station 19 premieres tonight, you guys. Go check it out.
Yes.
I know we will be.
Yes.
Very excited about it. Yep.
Good night, guys.
Hi, guys.
you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.